I'm Ame, I'm a voice actor, and today we're going to be studying Dokibird's voice. Welcome back to the Voice Study series, where we take a look at various people's, VTubers, characters, all sorts of voices that stand out and are interesting to us, and see how we can apply those unique aspects of those voices into our own character voices. Now, this series isn't exactly for the purpose of learning how to do a voice imitation or learning how to imitate the voice, because I know I can't do every single voice out there. But we can use these voices as inspiration to create our own original characters for voiceover. So, without further ado, let's get on to it. Who is Dokibird? Doki is a Cantonese-Canadian indie VTuber most known for her FPS skills and wildly infectious personality. She's gained a reputation for being a team player. Maybe not so much within the video game space, but within the VTuber community and widespread content creator community, Doki always finds ways to give back to her community, whether by supporting artists or using her platform to raise awareness for fundraising and charity. I got quite a few requests to study Doki's voice, and for good reason too. Doki's voice is definitely one of the most unique in the VTuber community. So let's see what makes Doki's voice, well, Doki's. Voice pitch and placement. Doki has a very versatile voice, which made it a little challenging to pinpoint what pitch her voice was. A person's voice doesn't necessarily have to always sit in one pitch level, and it's very normal for a natural voice to go up and down. However, when it comes to character voiceover, a character's pitch can determine how a viewer perceives the character, which is why it's often important to stay in the same pitch for characterization and consistency. Now let's have a listen to Doki's conversational tone and see where she would land on the voice pitch scale.
The mutual friend, not my mutual, but like the friend of the friend, they were like a dad. So they're like much older because he has like 5 children, 5 kids.
While Doki does have a tendency to go up and down with her voice a lot, her conversational tone usually ends up sitting like right about here in the middle of the voice pitch scale. Not quite high-pitched, but a far ways from low-pitch. Now that we've determined what Doki's voice pitch is, let's see if we can find out where her voice is placed.
God, you already got pushed? The game hasn't even started yet! Oh, wait, okay, I'll show you guys. I like the video of like, the only reason why
While her voice does have a harshness or a similar rasp to Camilla's, who is a throat voice, Doki's voice is actually placed in her chest. Her natural voice would actually work perfectly for a young boy character, whose voices are usually done by women doing higher pitched chest voices. The first thing we notice about Doki's voice is, of course, that harshness I mentioned before, or rather, the texture of her voice, which I believe is one of the reasons why her voice is so infectious and almost addicting to listen to. To me, every voice has its own unique shape, and to help recreate or keep that voice consistent, I like to draw the shape of the voice. This method also helps me listen for and visualize little nuances in each voice for voice studies. So, if you're a very visual person like me, grab a pen and paper. If not, then don't worry about this part. Now let's close our eyes, listen, and draw.
It's so bad. We would never had this moment at all. this like one of a million kind moment where everything has led to my boy Salt, but at least I can still make content.
Now that we have our shape, let's make some sense out of it. The shape I've ended up with somewhat resembles a lightning bolt to me. While Doki's voice does have a similar rasp to Camilla's, her voice is a lot more sharper and louder. On a side note, when we refer to a voice as loud, we don't necessarily always mean the volume of the voice. When a director tells us something like, turn it up, they want us to bring more life into the take, not make it louder. So what I'm saying is Doki's voice is a lot more lively, which is most apparent in her vowels. Doki's voice will often spike when hitting those vowels. Let's try applying those unique aspects of Doki's voice into our own voice now.
Anyway,
so
story.
But like, I didn't pay for professional movers this time because I was like,
okay, for the second time.
And I don't think I really need professional movers.
I'm pretty sure
I'm going to. I don't have any like guy friends that live in my city. So I was and my friend told this guy, they're like, oh, don't worry, it'll be very simple. You just need to move a desk and a chair. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm down for it.
I'm down for it.
Little does he know it was not just a chair and table. Speaking of the way Doki hits her vowels, let's take a look at Doki's accent, dialect, and speech mannerisms. Here is where I will quickly mention again that I am not the greatest at accents, neither recognizing or imitating them, and neither can I really teach you an accent in a 10-minute video. I'll just be basing this off of what I personally hear in Doki's voice, so feel free to fact check me in the comments. As we mentioned way back at the beginning of the video, Doki is Cantonese Canadian. Having spent most of her life in assuming Hong Kong, a lot of her speech mannerisms come from the Cantonese language. This can be most predominantly heard in those vowels we talked about earlier. Cantonese English speakers tend to draw out or lengthen their vowels, and their dialect ends up sounding a lot sharper as a result.
How did he die? Not the Mona Lisa.
Now, you're probably expecting me to bring up the Canadian accent now that I've talked about the Cantonese accent in her voice. But this is what I find really interesting about her voice. I don't think she has a Canadian accent. Canadian accents have a very subtle but distinct way of pronouncing some words, such as sorry. But while Doki doesn't have a very strong Canadian accent in her speech mannerisms, she does have quite a prevalent Valley Girl accent. The Valley Girl accent can be heard in traits in her voice such as the rise in pitch at the end of sentences, her vocabulary, and again, the way she lengthens her vowels. Let's try applying all of this to our voice now. Ready, set, repeat after Doki.
Pour one out for salt because he went fucking viral.
I did not expect that to happen overnight.
From one single like PC stress test stream.
Like if my PC curse wasn't so bad, we would never have this moment at all.
This
one in a million kind moment where everything has led to my voice salt getting rejected in front of almost 4,000 people. I hope you've been repeating after Doki's clips throughout this video because now we're going to put all the information we've observed and gathered into practice. Since I don't have an already written script to use like I had in my Iron Mouse voice study, we're going to be borrowing some of Dokibird's tweets instead. The curse of Deltarune! The world really didn't want me to stream the game today. This is punishment for my Sans Girl era. So many tweets today, but I'm still having a special birthday stream on the 4th. I had some special stuff planned for it before Anime Expo approached me, so the concert is like a bonus appetizer and dessert. You dragoons are gonna be so chonky afterwards from all this food. Please, 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 please. Feel like you got Doki's voice down, or just feel like challenging yourself a bit? Well, whenever I do these voice studies, I like to attempt to laugh as whatever character or person I'm studying. Trust me, it's a lot harder than it sounds. It takes so much practice to get your laugh to sound even remotely natural. All right, now let's give Doki's famous engine laugh a try. And be like, hey.
You want to make me Halloween
costume.
I'll say something dumb. All you have to do is open make it sound like a grandpa explaining it. Like, we're gonna get that.
How did your Dokibird voice practice go? What's your favorite Doki moment? Who do you want to see next on the voice study series? Let me know down in the comments below. And if this was fun, don't forget to leave a like on the video because that'll tell me that you want more. Thank you so much for all the support on these videos. It has absolutely blown me away. And as always, thank you for creating with me. Ciao, ciao! Mwah! When I was working on the script for this video, my friend mentioned that Doki's voice reminded them of the collector from Owl House, and now I can't unhear it.